Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're joining us from. And welcome to AnyRoad's webinar, Powering Field Marketing and Activations with AnyRoad Live. My name is Shalin Parikh, and I'm joined here by my colleague, Elena Weber. And we are excited to talk to you about a new product that we here at AnyRoad are launching called AnyRoad Live. Before we jump into the content today, a couple of housekeeping notes to share. So your audio can be configured using the audio settings tab on the bottom left of your Zoom window. We will have Q&A today, so you can type in a question at any time using the Q&A tab, and we will answer those questions at the end of the presentation. Finally, the presentation is being recorded, so a copy of the slides as well as a recording will be sent to you within 24 hours. So the agenda for today. So we're going to cover a number of topics today. So I know some folks here are newer to AnyRoad. Some of you know us well. So first and foremost, we want to quickly introduce to everyone how we think about experience relationship management and how we think about data capture as a key element of that process. And then we're going to jump into live experiences. So obviously the reason we built this product is for those field marketing or live experiences. Let's talk a little bit about what they are, what the challenges with them are, and how AnyRoad Live solves those challenges for your teams. And then, of course, we want to show you the product. So Elena is going to actually walk us through the product today. All right, so let's jump in. So before we get into the details of what experience relationship management is and what that means for our customers, let's talk a little bit about a quick overview of AnyRoad for those of you who are less familiar with us. So we were founded in 2013 and are an experiential data platform for brands to scale and optimize customer experiences that change behavior. A couple of examples here of customers of ours, companies like Budweiser, Honda, Michaels, Tabasco, all count on AnyRoad for anything from in-store appointments and services to field activations to tours to classes. And like I said, what we're going to focus on a lot today is specifically those field activations and how to support those. Now, I mentioned experience relationship management. I know that can be a newer concept for people, so let's talk about what it is. So many of you on the call, on the webinar today, run experiential marketing programs, right? And you know that has its challenges in doing so. And so whether you're an alcohol brand that has a brand home for visitors to visit, or you run tasting events, or you have pop-ups at different events, or even if you're a retail store that hosts in-store classes and services, it can be challenging to capture good detail on whether all of these experiences are performing well and to understand how they're impacting consumers. And then, of course, determining what you need to do to continually improve that experiential program and the experiential marketing strategy that you have in place. So ERM is the process to layer data and insights into your overall experiential programs so that you can more effectively execute on those programs, measure effectiveness, and understand the actual ROI or impact of those programs. Now, I mentioned insights and data and layering insights and data into the process. So let's talk a little bit about the different types of data that the B2C brands are used to thinking about. So first, second, and third-party data. So what is first-party data? First-party data is data collected directly by a brand through its own system. So that could be signups to an event or data that's captured even via a web form that a consumer provides directly to that brand. That first-party data is gold for brands. In a world where consumer privacy is critical, it's important to have a value exchange with consumers where they're choosing to share information with you, and then you in turn utilize that information. That is different from second-party data, which is collected from another source and shared with a brand through an integration or a partnership. So that data can look just like first-party data, but it's actually collected by another party. So it doesn't have that same value exchange. A good example of this could be a list of your partner's customers. And then third-party data. So this is data that's collected from other sources and parties. A good example of this is intent data that could come through a data aggregator that can help you enrich your CRM for better targeting. That's the kind of data that's going to face some hurdles over time as different privacy rules come into play. So how does AnyRoad actually tie into those concepts around first, second, third-party data and experience relationship management that we just covered? So AnyRoad is a single platform that enables experiential marketing teams to manage experiences, to actually run those experiences, to capture insights, and to feed that data into other systems. We just talked about enriching the CRM. That's an example of a way that an ERM process could function. And so we break down our product capabilities into those three categories. So if you start on the left here with Experience Manager, that's the operational side of the platform. That does everything from online signups to check-ins to messaging with guests, all centralized here to actually enable teams to execute and deliver on experiences. Next is Alice. So all the data captured through the Experience Manager capabilities, which could include survey questions. It does include check-in information. All of that is made sense of through Atlas. So Atlas is your guide to improving those experiences with data and insights. And I'm going to share more on the types of data and insights we're talking about in just a minute. And then lastly, Data Manager. We know that AnyRoad isn't the only piece of your tech stack. So we have integrations and APIs to get that data into other systems, like your CRM tools, your CDP tools, so that it can be used to do things like segmentation and targeting. Now, I mentioned analytics and Atlas. I think it's really helpful to get a glimpse into exactly what those analytics look like before we pivot and talk a little bit about field events and AnyRoad Live. So talked a lot about data, first-party data, insights, and analytics. So what type of insights do you get through Atlas? So we've broken that up into a couple categories here, which covers anything from details about who are your consumers to understanding how your experiences are stacking up to peers through benchmarks, through to understanding the why behind things. So consumer insights are going to give you deep insights into who is actually attending your experiences. The brand insights are going to show you how that's actually impacting people's perception of your brand. Benchmark insights are the insights that allow you to understand how your brand insights and consumer insights actually compare to the broader industry. And possibly most importantly, understanding the why behind that through the why insights is critical to understanding how you can improve those experiences and better drive ROI of those programs. And so all of those insights are captured by a range of tools that we have to manage everything from online experiences to paid at brand home experiences to field marketing experiences. And I know that's the focus of the conversation here today. So I'm actually going to jump directly into a little bit about AnyRoad Live, which is our new product capability to actually help you manage those field activations. So let's talk a little bit about what those field activations actually are and what they mean to our customers. So these experiences, these field marketing events, activations is another word that we've heard for them. They can be anything from pop-ups, booths at concerts, large-scale activations, and many more. They're generally held outside of a brand home location and often related to other events. So think of a booth that's at a concert or a bar takeover that a brand runs. Any of those are often staffed by field marketers or even third-party agencies. And what we found in all of our conversations with customers like yourselves is that these events are different than those brand home or retail store location events because people don't always pre-register for them. And field marketers are often focused on executing the event. And so it's often difficult to incorporate check-ins or capture of data in that process. Additionally, different teams are running these events throughout the country or the world. If you use the bar takeover example, we have examples of field marketers that are running different bar takeovers in different cities around the country. And so often what that does is if data capture is included in that, it can create data silos because one person's capturing information differently from another individual, all executing on similar events. So what that means overall, and the pain points that we've heard, are that data can sit with multiple people and in multiple systems when it's captured throughout these events. Check-ins can be challenging because of the volume of people that are coming to these events, which in turn makes insights difficult to gather. So when these field marketing teams are actually looking to analyze what happened in an event, who came, how it impacted them, it can be challenging to consolidate that data if it exists at all. So that is why we have created this product, AnyRoad Live, which sits within the operational side of the platform that I mentioned earlier in the Experience Manager product suite. And what AnyRoad Live does is it gives your field marketers the ability to run those activations in the field. It allows them to check people in via an iPad sign-in form or contactless QR codes that allow guests to scan a code themselves and enter information in on their phones. And what we do here is as part of the AnyRoad platform, there's enterprise grade security and support. So all that data is secure. Opt-ins can be captured if there is a desire to grow the marketable database from the consumers that attend those events to drive future marketing activities. And all the data feeds back into the broader AnyRoad platform. So all those insights we mentioned earlier can be captured in Atlas and as part of the broader experiential strategy. So if you have field marketing events that you're running and you also have in-store or brand home experiences, all that data is captured in one central place. I'm going to give you a quick example of how this works, but like I said, we'll also, Elena's going to walk through a demo. Let's take a concert experience, for example. If you're hosting a beer tasting booth or giveaway booth at a concert, and you want a simple flow for people to show up on site and be able to sign in and experience the tasting or the giveaway, but you want to, of course, capture insights about who attended and how it impacted them. So what you do with AnyRoad Live is you provide them that contactless QR code or a sign-in form, which you see in the screenshot here, that allows people to fill in a question or two, which hopefully they're happy to do because they're getting a free beer out of it. And you are able to get the insights. So you get an understanding of all the information about who came. And then you can also run follow-up surveys to understand how their perception of your brand changed after that experience. All right, with that, I'm going to hand it over to Elena to actually walk us through the product. So I'm going to pass over screen share to you, Elena.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sharon, for the great intro. Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to show you the first public demo of AnyRoad Live, an app that has been in the works for some time. I'm going to share my screen to walk you through a basic setup. Keep in mind that this seamlessly integrates with all the other powerful analytics that we offer on our platform. Many of you are already familiar with those since you are using probably our Experience Manager. And this is just one type of setup. It's fully customizable. I just took some popular examples that we see a lot with our user base. All right, so this is the AnyRoad Live login screen. The app is downloadable on any iOS iPad for use. It's free on the App Store as soon as your login gets activated. for this product, you can start using it immediately, and you can set up your events as used on the dashboard or else through the resource portal, which some of you may be familiar with. So if you had field agents, there would be a seamless way for them to easily pop in their own events on the fly. So this is just to support the different type of events. Here, as you can see in my demo account, I have a couple of events already set up. Some of them already have registrations on them. As a user, I can go in and see how many people were signed up, who they are, and I have a couple of very basic options. The aim of this app is to be extremely user-friendly and have simple options. So I will run you through these very briefly so I can see my upcoming event slots that I can prepare for my field agents. I also see my past events. So I have a list of those with my guest list. Since this is a demo account, there are obviously not so many signups yet. The settings are pretty basic, so I can allow automatic check-ins. This is for data purposes, so this is assuming that anyone who signs up here would automatically be checked in on your reporting. You can also disable then this feature and then check people in and see who actually arrived at the event if those are two separate stations. The exit pin is a very important feature. Since this is our first guest-facing app that can be self-serve, it allows you to get locked into kiosk mode, as we call it, for people to sign up and then exit it. And then you have, as with all of our AnyRoad products, our wonderful support team available. If you have questions or you needed something, this works while you're online. The app can also be used in offline mode if you were at an event that didn't have good coverage, for example. And without further ado, I will jump into my field activation. Charlene already signed up for the event because he knew that he was coming. Here you have two options. So on the bottom left, I have a share QR code button. And what this does is it opens up all the options that you would expect from iOS device to share the QR code. So if I wanted to print my QR code, I could do that and then post it around the event. For example, if I wanted to run a Tech Light event, that means that you didn't want to have iPads floating around for people to sign up with. So what you would do is you would print this QR code for the specific event that you prepared, post it somewhere, and people could just scan it with their own personal devices, which would trigger a touchless or personal device sign-up flow. This is very popular in these times specifically, that people don't necessarily want to touch iPads that other people have touched before them. But I'm going to launch the kiosk here for my on iPad sign-up flow. Here is where the app will ask me to create a PIN if I haven't already. And this, as I previously mentioned, is to make sure that users or the guests at the event don't get out of the kiosk mode to see your guest list or other events. So as a guest, this is my welcome screen, the home screen. As you can see on the top right, I have a language toggle. So the app supports multiple languages if you had a need for that. So I could also check out in French or sign up. But I'm going to do it in English because I assume that most people here are more familiar with that. So as a guest walking up to the iPad, I could again choose to scan the QR code and sign up for the event that way. Or I can start registering by starting the registration here. And here's also where the exit kiosk mode comes in play. So as a guest, I couldn't easily get out of it. So these are a couple of demo questions. Again, those are popular ones. They could be customized for your specific use case, and that obviously varies. This is standard for most opt-ins or first-party data. We would obviously want the guest name and email. As you can see here, we have these hot buttons for the most common emails, can also be customized so that people can check out very quickly. Phone number, for example, can be optional or mandatory. And also there are triggers built in if I don't complete something accurately, that it's very user-friendly that people would see what's wrong and can complete their information accordingly. So date of birth is very popular with our alcohol company specifically, but it's also good for segmentation. This will automatically calculate the guest's age and put it in your Insights dashboard. And then also very popular, the NPS question. So this is assuming that it's a branded experience and most of our users are interested in knowing how it impacted the view or perception of the brand. So after the event, the guest will also receive a follow-up email to the email they entered on their sign-up that can also be customized. They will ask them for the NPS perception after the event. And then, as Charlene pointed out, on the dashboard, you would see something like brand conversion for this group or this event, which you could also compare to other events. And with our natural language processing tools, you could see which words triggered positive or negative sentiments in your visitors. Here we have also a very popular question. This is usually brand loyalty. How often have you used our products? How often do you go to our events? This is also often tied to brand knowledge or retargeting. Oftentimes people would like to retarget guests that are new to the products after an event like this. So that's why it's one of our most popular ones. And here is an opt-in question, right? So this is very important that you can legally contact guests after the event. Also a functionality down here, subtext that can be used for your questions. And for offline mode specifically, the terms and conditions, small print could be popped into a pop-up. So if there is additional information, legal language that typically brands need to share in order to collect opt-ins, they can do that right here. And that's it. So it's super easy to use, very user-friendly. The follow-up emails, as I mentioned, are customizable. They'll go out the day after. That's integrated into the AnyRoad ecosystem. You can turn them off, but I suggest you don't to get more data out of it. And they will also be in the guest language. So if I translated my flow to French, I will get a follow-up email in French, for example. And that is the main flow.
All right. Thank you, Elena. All right, Q&A. So just a reminder, submit questions through the Q&A widget if at the bottom of your Zoom screen, if you have a question for us. Before I get to answering those questions, just a couple housekeeping notes. So for those of you that are interested in learning more about AnyRoad Live and understanding how it could actually fit in to your business and your experiential program, if you're an existing customer, feel free to reach out to your account manager to learn more. If you don't know who to reach out to, I have my email address up here. I can point you in the right direction. So feel free to reach out to me at my email address there, and I can definitely get you to the right person. If you are currently not an AnyRoad customer and you're curious about how it would work for AnyRoad Live, also you can reach out to me. It's part of our broader suite of products. We can talk to you a little bit more, learn about your experiential program and which products are going to make sense. So whether you're a customer or not a customer, if you're running programs like the ones we discussed with some of the challenges that we talked about, definitely reach out. We're happy just to talk through it with you and share some of the insights that we've learned. So with that, I will jump into Q&A. It looks like we do have a couple of questions. So the first question we have here is, someone is saying, so we currently capture guest information from field events through a Google form that's linked to a QR code. How is this different? Great question. So definitely, like I mentioned earlier, it happens a lot, right? There's a chunk of experiences where there's no information captured, and there's some where people do have processes like that in place. What we found in talking to folks in the industry and talking to our customers is that often that just creates another data silo, first and foremost. So it would be difficult to pull that in, to analyze that information, to keep it, secure, sync it up with opt-ins and things of that nature, like Elena showed. But also, you saw the experience that Elena demonstrated. What we found is that that's a really sleek experience with a lot of little enterprise-grade capabilities that often go unnoticed. So one of the examples Elena mentioned was the translation capability. You saw the look and feel of that application, and then the follow-up surveys being totally integrated into the process is also really unique to AnyRoad Live and not something you can do without a lot of back-end setup with something like a Google form. Let's see what other questions we have. So we have a customer here asking about how this compares to the AnyRoad front desk app. So AnyRoad Front Desk, another application that we have that functions on an iPad. How does this compare? So they're built for different sorts of events. So Front Desk is built to do things like payment processing, super integrated with pre-registrations that could happen in addition to live signups for people that walk in. AnyRoad Live, but Front Desk does not have a guest-facing mode. So AnyRoad Live is intended for those larger volume field events where you want it to be really easy to set up, where a field marketer, a brand ambassador, even a third party can download the app, easily sign in, pull up an event, and then turn the iPad over to consumers who are walking in and checking in, so they can quickly walk in and then even do those QR codes that we mentioned. So different type of event that it's built for, and therefore different functionality that you saw in that demonstration. Let's see if we have any other questions. So question here is, we use Eventbrite, where you can individualize your own questions and have a translation opportunity. What are the advantages and differences you offer? So I'll speak to a little bit of this, and then I might hand it over to Elena if you have anything else to add. But I think a large part of the differences that you'd see in terms of, that sounds like, maybe, I don't know Eventbrite super well, but it sounds like a comparable end user experience for consumers who are signing up and checking in. But what you would see on the analytic side of our platform is going to be markedly different than you'd see in any other platform. So there are capabilities we didn't get into today, which we can happily get into in a follow-up call, such as NLP analysis that's actually analyzing qualitative feedback that's submitted to through those questions to pull out key insights about what is it that's driving people to be promoters, what is it that's causing people to have become detractors or have a negative brand experience, which allows you to optimize based off of that feedback. Something else that we have is, we have a lot of customers that are probably peers of yours, and so we have industry benchmarks that you can look at, because a lot of our customers are asking similar questions. You can understand how your experiences are comparing on things like NPS, cut by age group, and things of that nature. So I will pause there. I think it might make sense to walk you through some of the insights and Atlas capabilities. But Elena, anything you would add there?
Yeah, a couple of things I would add, because we do have quite a few customers that used Eventbrite beforehand. The use case is typically a little different. I don't know exactly what the data capabilities are, but I would guess that our data dashboard and insights are a little bit more connected and actionable with the natural language processing feature that Charlie mentioned, but also just the segmentation. I think it's very thorough and connected. What we often see is also the reoccurring events portion. I believe in Eventbrite, you set up individual events, and AnyRoad is somewhat specialized in reoccurring events, so you don't have to continue setting up similar events. It's very easy to duplicate them or just adding new dates or reoccurring dates to it. And I would say the third main difference may be our resource portal. So as the owner of the data, as the main company, what we see is a lot of people work with agencies, field agents. They have a large number of employees of different levels working on these events. So a resource portal is essentially a separate access that doesn't give someone full access to your events, your data, your reporting, but allows them on a limited capability to see their upcoming events on a personalized level. So as a field agent, I could see Ms. Crouchop did assign me certain events, and they would show up on my personalized calendar because I was assigned to it. And I could open those up and not have access to the greater events list of the master list of this brand. And also I could be enabled, and this is on a user per user level, to create my own events within certain predefined parameters. So the brand could say, okay, we want the follow-up emails and the questions to be like this, and we don't want our field agents to be able to change that. However, we do want to give them the capability to create new events under this, and that brand. So when they go and spontaneously do a tasting or a pop-up, they can independently do so without needing additional help and setup from the HQ. I think those are the things that spontaneously come to mind.
Great. Thank you, Lena. I'm going to do one last check for questions. I think that is it. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We're happy to talk to you about AnyRoad Live. We're really excited about this product, how it helps with those field events and activations, and how it fits into AnyRoad's broader experience relationship management capabilities. So thank you. Like I said, we will follow up with a recording and the slides for anyone who missed it or wants to watch through it one more time. And feel free to reach out to me or your account manager if you have any follow-up questions. We're happy to talk through questions like the ones we just went through or anything else that you would like to cover. All right. Thank you, everyone.